Welcome back to Game 2, everybody. Saints 1-0 on the day, coming up against our first non-collegiate team here in the NACL OQ here. Team Ambition.
Yeah, even though it's not a collegiate team, there will be a couple names from that collegiate scene. Our own jungler, Maddie, he has a couple of his former teammates on this team, actually, from that St. Louis University. We saw them having some nice moments in chat earlier, so it's good to see old teammates now becoming rivals on the Rift. The Saints take down what I would consider an upset victory over UC Irvine. Played a phenomenal game. They let that Pike Tristana go. Curious to see if Team Ambition is going to follow the same fate.
Yeah, I think these bans are going to be a huge thing for Team Ambition, and getting this far in this Swiss bracket, keeping the record that they have, you definitely are going to be doing your research, and that Tristana ban 1 shows that.
Yeah, I think Tris Pike probably going to be 1-2. They were 1-2 the other games as well. Would not be surprised. We're going to see the Nami ban out for St. Clair, so maybe taking away that Lucian Nami, been one of those safe bot lanes. Been good for as long as people can remember. Just one of those nice synergistic duos. Works well in lane. Works good in the team fighting. Tris Pike off the board for the Saints.
Yeah, and Lucian Nami, it's one that ever since that Lucian passive change there has just worked so well together. And you can nerf it as much as you want, but the combo itself is just so perfect with how it is that the numbers don't matter so
exactly.
much.
We're going to see a top lane target ban, that Aurelia going to be taken away. This top laner for Ambition, Cozy, one of those former teammates of Maddie, absolute demon in the top lane. Gonna have a lot of those high skill mechanical champs. The Aurelia, I guess before when the Akali might have been played more top, things of that nature. So somebody that wants to try to play those hyper carry top laners. Maokai next off the board for Team Ambition. So typically not far from the meta as far as Ambition's bans go away. St. Clair, you can clearly see targeting that top side ban. Aurelia and Fiora, I mean, two of the most mechanically demanding top laners.
Yeah, and you're talking about, carry top laners that are going to take you through the game from level 1 to level 18 and really put their impact down. And I'm thinking what's left, right? I'm looking at champs, thinking of champs like Aatrox, Jax on the table for sure. Gangplank, maybe. GP? Gangplank scales very, very well into the late game. Not necessarily that kind of like tank bruiser that it seems like St. Clair's banning out, but definitely a top lane pick to be or not to be trifled with.
I mean, those when you get hit with that double barrel combo later in the game, even the tankiest of tanks can end up succumbing to that one. We are going to see Akali going to be that first pick for the Saints. So Bakery Boy, he's got a lot of time on the Akali. He's been playing into the Akali the last couple days more times. He's been on the Silas. I think we saw an Azir game yesterday potentially, but now he's going to put his hands back on that Akali, and we're going to see Udyr getting taken out for Maddie. So not something he typically plays, but Udyr, another one of those safe meta junglers, should be able to get around the lanes pretty well, navigate things, and just a lot of sustainability.
And as that Udyr as well, I mean, you see the Sejuani got picked up by Team Ambition. Clearly, that's Maddie's comfort pick. However, Udyr is going to slot into that same kind of role on the team. Not going to do the exact same job, but filling the same role for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Then we are going to see that Silas coming through. Silas has probably a 95% pick rate in every single game. Plays very well into most mid laners. Plays exceptionally well into the Akali. We saw last game, Bakery Boy seemed to do very, very well into it. Now we are going to see that Jax get picked up for Team Ambition. Jax has been one of the most prominent top laners the last little while, and by doing this you get to take it away from Ricky, so it's kind of a 2-in-1 there in case you were worried about Ricky pulling out that Jax. He is going to answer with his classic Darius though. However, this top lane matchup might be the one to circle. Two aggressive top laners, two that have hit Challenger, that are about as good as you can get at the position. It's going to come down though. Say two champs as well, they're going to be trading.
Yeah, Darius, I think a great champion to Jax because you don't have to always rely on those auto attacks that can be blocked because your Q is so strong in lane. But at the same time, it's Jax. You can't play too aggressive. You can't play too comfortable into him because next thing you know, you get stunned up, you're 4 auto attacks down, and you're just getting chased down towards your own tower. Definitely something you got to keep in mind. Varus ban to come through.
Yeah, so that poke-heavy bot lane meta is still going to be sufficient. That Karma getting taken out on the other side there. So the Saints, I'm curious what they're going to go with maybe for a look in the bot lane. They are going to take away the Ashe as well, so taking out that poke bot lane completely. Ambition still has that one last ban slot. The Saints, maybe not going to go for that aggressive bot lane. I wonder what, maybe like, there's still Zeri, maybe Zeri Yuumi, Zeri Lulu on the board for one of these teams, potentially. Still a couple other enchanters on the board, but definitely a variation from last game. We're actually going to see the Sivir, so Sivir Lulu, Sivir Yuumi, maybe something like that. Not really a ton of champs that Sivir's going to go that well with.
Yeah, definitely probably looking towards that enchanter side. I mean, Sivir's a champion that was really, really popular about a month back.
It was the Sivir meta.
Yeah, it was the Sivir meta. And now as we kind of get forward, like we've come a month or two forward, and Yes, there's been a few patches. Sivir's been touched a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think still a strong pick nonetheless.
Still
I think
scales.
still can hang, especially when you've got Caitlyn, Tristana, Varus, and Ashe already banned out. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like what pool is left?
That's what I said. Yeah, maybe you go Zeri or something like
Yeah.
that, but we are going to see Lulu and Xayah. Actually, Xayah been getting a lot more picks recently. We saw yesterday the Saints had a very, very tricky time dealing with the Xayah.
Yeah.
Kind of ran all over the Rift, took them out of town. But Lulu, Xayah on one side, Soraka, another one of those enchanters. Haven't seen too much Soraka recently. I'm sure, listen, healing your team, never really going to be that bad of an agency as far as
Point and
characters
click
go.
silence.
Exactly.
I mean,
Point and click silence. Nice, easy champ to pilot. Curious how Basketti and Rockboom are going to figure that one out. We don't usually see Rockboom on that Sivir, especially not since we talked about that Sivir meta. But very different draft from last time, minus a couple picks here and there. But see how the game plays out ultimately.
yeah, we should be getting in soon, but looks like we might be waiting a couple more seconds as these players get into the Rift. But taking a look at these drafts, I mean, you take a look at the bot lane here, and this is going to be a big one. We saw in the one game Saints have lost in this bracket right now was to that Xayah. Like you said, they had such a tough time dealing with it. And once that Xayah got Kraken Slayer, it just kept snowballing out of their control. And the Saints, in the end, were pretty well dominated by the Xayah.
Yeah, and we saw last game and the game before that, once they got that bot lane online, Rockboom playing into an unfavorable Trist versus Draven matchup, still able to get the job done.
Okay.
See, a lot of visual effects going on there. Yeah, everyone dancing it up on the fountain there, but we are in for game 2 of the day for St. Clair College, taking on Team Ambition. Maddie taking on a couple of his former teammates in this second game of these NACL Open Quals. The Saints trying to push their record to 2-0 on the day to start things off, which would do very, very well to try to get them one of those qualifying spots. Team Ambition, though, the team that stands in the way, and now we are on the Rift and ready to go.
It looks like we've got a few alts in the lobby as well. So just to clarify, top laner from Team Ambition, main in-game name going to be Cozy, that mid laner going to be Town, and then Sarcasm, Aaron, and Pluto all playing on their mains, it looks like. But just to be clear here...
League players and name changes,
You
man,
should know me. Yeah, what a... What a name.
Listen, you gotta respect it. Hey, when you get to Challenger as he does and you play you play League of Legends at that high level.
You should know him.
You know what? And you know what? Now I do know him. So job got done there, Cozy. That top lane matchup going to be a very, very interesting one. We saw the Aatrox, JDG Night used to Bakery Boy on the Silas. JDG going to land those early chains. Bakery Boy answer back, little emote, little back and forth.
I mean, Bakery Boy wins that trade. Yes, you pop the bone plating, but you got a little bit more damage, and you're playing an energy champ. You come right back, whereas Knight gonna have to burn a little bit more of that mana trying to go in, and every time he's gonna dash in there, that empowered auto from Akali is gonna do a little bit more than the empowered one from the Silas.
Yeah, after those energy changes they made maybe a month or two ago, Zed, Akali, some of these champs are an absolute nightmare and terror to deal with. Akali has seen so much pick rate. Always gives you that hyper agency to try to take over a game, skirt around those team fights, especially around those objectives. Can be so powerful. Bakery Boy has shown his prowess. Ricky, Shinomi getting going on these trades in the top lane. Gotta make sure you watch out for that Jax and those lethal tempo stacks, though.
Yeah, 4 Hemorrhage stacks, so Ricky not gonna actually push in on that. I mean, you find one more stack there, you've got your passive up, but Knight has the level advantage, looking to shove that one into the tower. Probably going to be a slower game from Bakery Boy here, but I mean, we've seen him get pretty aggressive on the Silas, and Akali can definitely do that with as well, but you've seen how he's also played into most Akalis. He's won a lot of these lanes. Akali sometimes can be on the worst end of that lane, depending on how you play this one.
Yeah, you have to make sure you're going to get back even trades. You can't really let that Silas engage on you. You have to try to fight, and having those aggressive mid laners and bot laners that want to fight back is always going to help you. You don't want to take a 1-for-0 trade, because if you take a couple of those, things might not go your way. And already, you have potentially some topside action here. Sarcasm is going to show on Ricky. They're looking to get some kind of dive set up early. Ricky going to pop that ghost. He's going to have to flash away as well. The Ignite's going to go through. The stun's going to get landed. Tower shot's going to get traded out beautifully. And that's going to be first blood over to that jungler.
Second tower shot not going to be good onto Sarcasm either, but 3 sums burned top side there. Ricky burning both of those. Yeah, this is going to be a tough comeback for Ricky, and you let this Jax get ahead too early, and it will be long gone.
You just
for
can't
Ricky.
trade.
You can't trade out now. He's going to have just so much more items, just going to be a leg up on stats every time they go in for a trade once he gets his first back off.
Yeah, and this would be potentially a point of concern, even though it's very, very early in the game. When you play Sivir, you're not really going to bully the early game too hard, depending on the matchup. You're going to be wanting to get to that late game. You want to scale, get that 2-3 item spike under your belt. And if you're Darius and Jax, you want things to stay even. But we're going to see some support on support crime. Biscotti is going to fall over to Pluto. Very, very rough start to the game for St. Clair, and Team Ambition taking full advantage of every lane.
Yeah, I mean, this far ahead, why not? You found those early kills, that early presence on the map. You've got your jungler coming in here, though, for the Saints. Maddie is able to get a bit of an engage onto Pluto. Stun comes through, gonna get rooted up by Aaron. This could be dangerous. Maddie gonna have to run away. Sarcasm, though, looking for this kill. Shield gonna be popped, but is the stance good enough? The heal comes in from Biscotti, and it is good. You should know me, though. Solo Bolo on the top side there. Gonna be getting those kills up even more. The CS lead gonna get even wider in that top lane.
Yeah, this top lane is going to become a nuclear-sized problem for this St. Clair team, especially as things go forward. That Jax is already one of the strongest top laners in the game. Now you give him a lead, and it's not like if the Jax gets the lead into a Sion or like maybe an Aatrox, it's not quite as bad. Getting it into a Darius, who is a champ, reliant on getting ahead, getting those items early on in his belt, trading off with those other top laners. If you're just behind a champ with a similar playstyle, you're just going to be behind the 8-ball every single fight. And Ricky, honestly, kind of just has to sit under tower and farm here until he either gets some jungle help or things can develop on the rest of the Rift.
Yeah, it's unfortunate being in a situation like that, but you do have to slow down your game a little bit. You realize you're too far behind. You realize there's a Sheen in hand, there's boots in hand for this Jax. They're going to be able to run you down, get those dashes constantly, and constantly you're going to have to sit under tower. And yes, you might end up getting dove 1 or 2 more times, but it's worth it for that XP. It's worth it to not get any farther behind.
Now, this first dragon is going to come up now, and I believe the Rift Herald should be up shortly as well. A couple minutes here. The Saints, see what they want to do. Maddie going to go topside river here. You should know me. Maybe going to give him a visit here on this control. Or if this board in that pixel brush. Maddie going to walk over to the mid lane here. Not really any gank setup yet for the Saints. Maddie just trying to make sure he keeps power farming, try to get as big of a CS lead on this Sejuani as possible. Try to stack up that Dark Shield after a couple team fights. Tell you what, Ricky, got to make sure you keep that. The good thing is, Ricky seemed to have gotten back in the CS department, but again, it's just about getting that gold in his back pocket and trying to make up those kills now.
Yeah, I mean, 2 kills over to that team. 1 solo on the Jax now, too. That's a big chunk of gold that Cozy is able to grab there. Sarcasm comes looking for another. Ricky ready to back off after he crashes that wave, ready to get a back off so he can possibly get some more items under his belt, as You Should Know Me has to clear these out from under tower. But over towards this bot lane, definitely a slower bot lane than I thought we might have ended up with, especially since the last time we saw Xayah in this tournament, which was a very fast and aggressive Xayah. But It seems like both these players pretty happy to just sit here and play the passive, the farming game, kind of the typical bot lane you'd see.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Aaron as well, if you're this bot lane for Team Ambition, you have the slight CS lead, your team has that slight gold lead, about 2k already at the 7-minute mark. You found a couple nice kills already. You don't really want to give the game away. All you can do now, if you play safe and just try to, ride the coast the rest of the way. You don't want to try to make any too crazy of plays. You can just try to keep that CS lead, not give any kills over to this Sivir, over to the Sakali if she decides to roam. So you want to make sure, you make those aggressive plays without giving anything back to the other side.
Yeah, and you've got this amazing shove with the Sivir as well, but Aaron on that Xayah, one of the champs who early on can kind of contest with it, with those feathers, with that E pull there. You're able to actually clear those waves, sometimes just as fast. You've got those piercing feathers as well from that auto, do a little bit of extra damage to those casters in the back, so that Sivir shove is not going to be as threatening.
That Bakery Boy has to be a little bit careful here. Is going to back off, though, once he gets that cannon wave shoved. To walk over onto this Jax, though. Maybe you got to try to start something going. At least the good thing is, Bakery Boy, if he can draw some of this Jax's attention, let Ricky keep getting that CS in that top side. I mean, the wave, it's pretty frozen under Ricky's tower there, so not really much the Jax can do, and that honestly bodes really well for Ricky. Still a little bit behind in that farm department. Bakery Boy doing a good job in this mid lane, has that anti-heal to try to shut down that Sylas. Aaron going to get tagged up a little bit. Going to be a trade back and forth, but still this bot lane looking to see who's going to get the first kill.
Yeah, that's that point and click silence I'm talking about. It's such a long range ability, and it's instant. Soraka can shut down anything she wants with that. Yes, it's on a long cooldown, but it one of those things where a pretty basic champion like Soraka can end up having a crazy deep skill ceiling for some of these better players, because the timing on that and when to use that in the team fight is so important.
Yeah, one thing to note about this Saints team too, this is a night and day team from last semester. Last semester, their Achilles heel, and I always talked about it, they would never play the objectives, and they wouldn't play them on a timely manner as well. Now, the last 2 weekends, and even some of the games earlier in the semester, they are timed right on these objectives. However, Ricky, he smells this dive coming. It's going to be the Sejuani and the Jax. Once again, he's going to flash under the tower. Deja vu from last time. He's still going to be alive, though. Still ticking. Those tower shots landing. Tries to land the dunk. It is going to be enough. So it's going to be a 1-for-1. A great play from Ricky to stay alive, at least find that kill. You're going to be all sums gone from those top laners. You're going to get the flash out of Sejuani as well. So honestly, a net positive for Ricky.
Yeah, almost played that out the exact same as well. Flashes over towards that front of the tower. Tried to hit that second Q onto that Sejuani. Had it hit Sarcasm there, that could have ended up as a 2-0 just because of that execution from the ultimate as well. But yeah, a 1-for-1 considering the alternative. Pretty solid there to see. However, you still found a dive top if you're You Should Know Me there. Jax got another kill under their belt, and that was the main want from Team Ambition there.
Yeah, the kill was very important for Ricky. Yeah, the silver lining is you got +1 summoner spells burned in the end of it. Still, especially considering how that last dive went when he got nothing for it. Very, very good play. Now he's going to have that Iron Spike whip, try to slow things down a little bit. Bakery Boy still trading away with Knight in this mid lane. Neither of these guys have blinked so far. Bakery Boy still just edging out in that CS lead, trying to get this prio as often as possible. Ricky, this is the one good thing with Darius, though, because his trades are so insane. If you can get that Jax off cooldown, catch him when he goes up a little bit too far, Darius can absolutely still win that matchup. Bakery Boy gonna try to engage on the Sarcasm here. He's gonna miss that first shuriken, though. He's gonna get stunned up. He's gonna get landed by that. Knight's gonna take his R as well. Bakery Boy gonna have to try to dash to safety. He does have to flash over the pit there. Sarcasm deciding to give chase. Decides not to in that case, but he is gonna get the flash.
Yeah, nothing too much burned from the side of Team Ambition there. That was just a pretty solid play. They're able to take that flash, chase him out of lane, give Knight a little bit more time, or Town a little bit more time to really play with this mid lane, move up towards some objectives top. Now you can see this Sejuani, Sarcasm, and Town here moving up this river. Maddie, privy to that, gonna move out of the way. Tribush, your Sarcasm. Rift in hand too. Ricky gets jumped on. Will the stun be good? It will. Second stun to come through. That chain CC is hard to deal with. One stun right after another.
Yeah, a little bit of an aggressive recall there by Ricky. Should have maybe thought twice about where he wanted to recall there, Maddie. Now we're going to try to clear this way before You Should Know Me can get that first plate, but the Herald is going to come down next. Tower shot's going to be taking Maddie, trying to see how much damage he can get onto You Should Know Me here. And one thing, too, to note, something happened in the bot lane, too. Rock Boom burned both of his sums, and they got the heal out of Biscotti. And I think, Xayah went Ghost and Lulu went heal, so there was some skirmish in the bot lane. Going to be half sums up for that. Curious to see what that's going to mean. But the Saints are going to shove that one in, take a recall, see what items they can pick up.
Yeah, Maddie moving back towards this top side, just saving this wave for Ricky, making sure that none of that XP is going to be wasted, but 4 plates over to this Jax now. The Rift helping out with that. I guess with the Rift, half of that might have went to that Sedge as well. Sarcasm, he's going to have his first tank item soon as well. I mean, 66 CS is down on Maddie, but with 2 kills under your belt and all the pressure you're putting on the map, definitely, I think, in terms of just the junglers right now, has been doing a lot more than Maddie.
Yeah, and Jax, even though we say you got all that gold from those plates, still up about 18 CS as well. Now Ricky trying to take some plates back the other way before they go away here very, very shortly. Seeing if he can just get that second one. Not going to be the case, though. Still doing a good job staying in level, but Jax, as you said, is going to have that Divine Sunder. He has the Lucidity boots, so he is going to be an absolute menace to try to trade with Ricky. Going to have to be very, very careful. And you can tell, to Team Ambition, they seem to want to play for this top side. It seems like maybe You Should Know Me might be their best player, might be like their carrying potential, but they seem to be cheating toward that top side very, very often. Granted, the bot lane hasn't really needed any help, so they're just kind of letting them play it out.
Yeah, and the bot lane is interesting because we talk so much about how right now the meta is these junglers want to play for bot lane almost every single game, right? But coming into this one, you see the Jax in that top lane, you see him getting more and more fed. I think if Maddie sets his sight bot, one or two ganks come through, and suddenly Sivir Soraka could be too far gone to deal with. You've already got Kraken Slayer on Rockboom here. Xayah has not backed and gotten that Mythic. This is a prime opportunity for a gank here.
Yeah, maybe Maddie has that same idea, looking to maybe walk down the river here. Is actually going to walk over to that mid lane, though. Maybe going to get second thoughts now. They do have that pink ward in that bush, though, so it's going to be very, very tricky to sneak up on this Ambition squad. Sarcasm, best to clear out this vision. He's going to walk bot side as well, so maybe they can smell that dive coming. Maddie going to get tagged up by the Xayah, going to get rooted as well. Very low on HP, going to get tagged down about 40% there before he can even get back to that tower. Biscotti now going to show second dragon now up and cooking. It's going to be a team fight over the pit. The Saints, the dragon gets pulled out by Ambition. The Saints now going to get started on it, but I don't suspect they're going to try to finish this one. Walk over here. Maddie's going to heal up. Both of these teams just jockeying right now.
Yeah, it looks like they can't necessarily decide that first target they want to go in on. Bakery Boy, a little bit of damage towards Knight, but I think that Silas Akali, it's a very like push and pull lane. It's almost like baiting the other person into making an unoptimal dash and then just capitalizing on it. You're going to see a lot of that. Bakery Boy is going to hit that E, but there's the follow-up. It comes through one auto and it's good, but
good zoning.
Yeah, you zoned off well enough to allow that Drake to be grabbed for your team. And now, just like the last game, 2 Drakes down for the Saints, but in the contrary though, Team Ambition way up in gold right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have a slight gold lead. Even though the gold lead, it seems really, really bad. I think most of that gold is on the Sejuani and on the Jax. And the Jax, not somebody you want the gold to be on, obviously. That top tower now going to fall. The trade's going with Ricky as well. I think he's going to try to take Ricky out on that top side. Both Sums going to get burned for You Should Know Me. Ricky going to burn both Sums as well. Ricky is going to escape, and Sarcasm picks up the kill onto Bakery Boy near that mid lane area. So once again, it's going to be a solo pick. One of those solo lanes. Biscotti is going to have to burn the flash and burn the heal. Just going to get away from the feathers. Rockboom trying to trade. That is not a good trade against this Xayah, though. He's getting tagged down very low. The Soraka are going to be enough to keep him alive. Biscotti, though, a couple autos away from falling. Rockboom playing dangerously here. Very low HP. He's going to find one and make it a double. That's going to be 2 for Rockboom. The bot lane going to get back in the game here. Maddie now going to walk down, try to crash this wave, potentially take some of this tower out as well. Look, what looked like a very, very, very scary play ends up being a 2-for-1.
Yeah, that was the save of the day by Biscotti there. So much healing to come through. Biscotti then sacrificing their own life as that all-in comes through, making sure Rockboom has all the health available to make that 2v1 happen, to find those kills. And Rockboom waiting there, waiting for that shield to come back up, waiting for more ricochets, and a perfectly placed boomerang to finish that one off. Now you're a kill up on this Xayah, as well as pretty well even on CS, so you're going to have that slight chunk of gold lead there, and you see that in the Zeal.
Listen, all it takes, even after a couple of those Sivir nerfs, all it takes is to get her a couple items, get her on the back line of one of those team fights, and you watch the magic happen. She is still one of those champs that can absolutely take over a team fight. You see how strong the wave clear is? The R not going to be enough to catch out Rockboom there. Had to burn that flash, but still going to be worth it to avoid that dive. Second Herald going to get placed in this mid lane here. Maddie, Rockboom, and Biscotti here to link up. Potentially try to stop the crash, but they only have a couple seconds to do so. They might be able to if they can get it quickly. Actually stunned it up pretty well there, so no crash mid lane. Sarcasm gonna walk to this bot side. Bakery Boy gonna mirror that, maybe go try to catch the wave.
Yeah, Sarcasm opting for Krugs, but you're looking at Bakery Boy in this bot side. Town and Sarcasm here have been really, really communicative, I want to say. Like, they've been kind of this mid-jungle duo where Bakery Boy got ganked a couple minutes ago and had no way out of that gank. And if you're able to chain up that CC from both the Silas and the Sejuani, even a champion like Akali, who can be so slippery at times, will have a hard time getting out of there.
Yeah, it looks like they're maybe trying to dive the bot lane as well. The mid lane going back and forth, but they're pushing this Akali all the way under that tower, trying to get that prio back in their favor. Sarcasm now going to either walk to this mid lane, maybe take a stroll through that bot side jungle as well. It looks like they want to set up a dive on Bakery Boy here. Bakery Boy getting in a little bit of a skirmish here. He's going to take a lot of damage. Still going to try to get in that shroud. Now here comes Sarcasm on that backside. Bakery Boy going to try to go in on him. He's going to fail the flash into the wall. He is going to bounce over that wall, though. Blast Cone not going to be up, though. He's going to get tagged down, and it's going to be JDG Knight on that kill. Saints trying to do some counter jungling here. They're going to try to push You Should Know Me. They're going to push this top side tower as well. That bot side tower, though, going to be the one exchanged out.
Rock Boom getting dived on mid, and that's all she wrote for Rock Boom. A clean dive. Sarcasm is way too tanky to not be diving anyone like that right now. Rock Boom, you're a little too far up under that tower. You should know me, though. Ricky LaFleur and Paschetti in the top lane. This could be a tough one for Jax to make it out of. And the fact that that was even that close is terrifying. This Jax has way too much gold under their belt to be able to lose a 2v1 like that. Luckily for the Saints, Ricky LaFleur and Darius himself going to have an amazing true damage execute to help finish that off.
Yeah, the rest of the Saints going to have to work to get back online, and stopping these ganks and these well-timed dives from Ambition as well. It takes them virtually zero time to set these up. And honestly, I shouldn't be surprised watching Darius do that. I played enough times in top lane where I think I'm winning the trade guaranteed, and I end up still losing, and he has that 25% HP. So Darius, like we said earlier, it's one of those champs, even if you feel like you're winning the trade, he gets a couple of those passives stacked, he hits you with that bleed damage, and you are in a world of hurt right after. The Saints maybe try to play this objective control once more. 20 seconds till this third dragon. Last game, they did a very good job. They were down in kills. They were down about 2.5k gold, but they got to Soul Point. They played the rest of the map, and ultimately, they got Rock Boom online as well, which should definitely help them.
Yeah, able to get 2 kills on Rock Boom. Rock Boom still looking for that second item here, but towards this mid lane. 4 members of the Saints. It's going to be stunned up. Is that first man
Huge
in?
Stopwatch.
Town stopwatch flash is going to be good. Bakery Boy, you're too deep in this team right now. The Shroud saves their life. Paschetti getting absolutely shredded by Aaron right now in the backside. It's You Should Know Me on this. Jax make it a double. Aaron is going to clean up Ricky LaFleur as well. Maddie running for dear life here on the Udyr as it's 3 Saints 4-0. Team Ambition padding the gold lead, padding the kill feed there.
Yeah, and they're going to get their first objective on the board as well. A phenomenal job by them. They're actually going to go for that early Baron play as well, and I definitely do not blame them. They're going to get that top side vision. They have the Saints on a lot of these respawn timers. You might as well try to burst down the Baron. You leave You Should Know Me on to solo this Infernal Drake. They should be able to get both of these objectives. Maddie, though, maybe going to try to go for the flip. This is a very, very risky play, though, especially with Pluto walking bot side. Bakery Boy here, though. Maybe he can find the all-in on Pluto. He is going to find some damage. Misses that Shuriken, though. Is going to get the flash over the wall. Now Maddie getting chased out by You Should Know Me. This Jax, an absolute nightmare to deal with right now. Bakery Boy and Maddie trying to work this 2-man game. Rock Boom now here for the fight. The Ignite's going to go through. They're going to get the flash. He's going to jump to safety. This Dragon gets that full reset, though. So the Saints aren't going to get that leash they were hoping for. This Baron buff still going to be active on these Ambition members as well. Dragon's going to be at about half HP. Ricky going to flash in. Double knock up. The silence is going to land. Jax trying to spin away. Bakery Boy trying to go all in. Down goes You Should Know Me. Udyr's the next to fall. Aaron's going to be good for that one. Ricky's going to be tagged low. These members of Team Ambition are not slowing down. Rock Boom down to 1 HP. Down he goes to the Xayah. That's going to be Dragon over to Ambition. They're going to get a lot of wave prio, and St. Clair's road to the top just got a whole lot longer.
Call it a replay of day 1. Day 2 comes in. Xayah is back on the Rift, and the Saints still don't know how to deal with this. This Xayah gets out of control the second they find that Kraken Slayer. Throw a Phantom Dancer in there, and the auto attacks are just flying out left and right there in the team fight. The damage so good, and looked so even in that team fight. First, you had Bakery Boy go into the backside 1-for-1. You're trading out Maddie for that Jax. It seems like such a good trade, but you forget that there's a 2-item ADC ready to just start attacking your own backline.
And honestly, yeah, the fight was very well played by the Saints, but look at the itemization across the board. They just don't have the power that the side of Team Ambition has. When you're going to be down, even before that team fight, they were down maybe 5.5, 6k gold. You're going to be down, and the gold is in all of the places they want it to be as well. It's basically everywhere but the Lulu. The Sylas has an objective bounty. The Sejuani's got a bounty. Xayah has that 2-3 item spike already. Has a fat bounty on her head. The Jax has been going crazy. Now he has that Blade of the Rune King. He has that stopwatch, so that's going to be the ultimate all-in technique. You jump in, try to land that 3-man stun, press on that stopwatch, see where the rest of the fight takes you. The Saints still trying to hit those item spikes, waiting to get that Rock Boom, that second, that third item to really start dealing that damage, because until then, they're going to have to safely farm and make sure they don't lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, so far back in gold, we talk about it a lot. 10k gold is oftentimes that crux where the game becomes too hard to come back. However, 2 dragons under your belt, 2 of some of the better dragons in the game as well. Like, they've got some stuff going for them, but right now, in terms of gold, it's just all going Team Ambition's way, and gold translates into stats, and it doesn't get more simple than that.
Yeah, just basic math. My numbers are higher than your numbers, and we have stopwatches, and you guys don't have them online yet. So it is quite literally that simple. We are going to see Maddie going to go into that Jack Show build. Still has that Dark Steel. Not sure if he'll maybe try to sell that off, try to go something else, because it's going to be very, very hard to get that thing stacked, especially at this stage of the game. This mid tower going to be the next one to fall. A little bit of damage from the Saints to retaliate, but not going to be enough to dissuade that Sejuani.
Yeah, Rock Boom might have to be the saving grace of this game. If you can get that ADC, you can get that Sivir to that IE spike, to that second, third item, maybe this game could still be in line. I mean, you do have a Soraka to back them up. However, when you're spending all your resources to try and go find Knight like this, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, you've got a Jax just absolutely going wild on your inhib turret. You gotta get your priorities straight here. You gotta figure out which fights you want to take.
Yeah, Yushinomi has been so strong. Gets those kills, goes and takes the bot tower. Not one greedy bone in his body. Gonna back right off, realizing the only way they're going to lose this game at this point is if they start to feed these kills back over to St. Clair. Also, though, the Saints, the only win condition now is get this game to like 35 minutes. Make sure both teams are going to be damn near full build. Try to take your luck flipping either Elder Dragon, if you can make it that long, or trying to set up around these objectives. Because right now, taking any fight not around an objective is going to be suicide for the Saints.
Yeah, keep in mind, since you did have those 2 dragons stacked up while the game was still fairly even, Soul is only 2 points away. It does only take a couple good dragon fights or maybe a key steal from Maddie to have this game still within your sights. However, that gold lead keeps getting farther and farther away, now above 11k, and we're only 25 minutes into the game. It could be, if Team Ambition wants to, they can end the game in the next 5 minutes just based on them being higher stats, them having better items, and being able to win almost every team fight.
And with them knowing that Sivir is in that back pocket, knowing they have a pretty substantial lead right now, and knowing how confident this team is and how well they've played so far, I would not be surprised if they start to put the squeeze here and try to find some kind of win angle. Yushinomi, they go for the early all-in. Listen, he has that stopwatch in the back pocket. He can afford to be super aggressive. They're going to chunk away at this bot side inhibitor. That first inhibitor will fall. Going to open up this bot lane, get those super minions flowing for Team Ambition. A lot of damage going back the other way from that Sivir W, but not going to be enough to really dissuade this push. This mid tower going to be the one they have their sights set on next. Going to be trying to... Saints, the one good thing is they have a lot of wave clear with the Sivir, with the Udyr. They can get those waves out of the way very efficiently, but with the way Team Ambition is starting to put the pressure on, they're going to have to try to find one pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of play you're going to find out of some of these high-level amateur teams here. I mean, we're in the NACL Open Qualifier here. We're deep into the Swiss bracket. Saints have only lost 1 game up until this point. These are solid teams, and you're not going to see Team Ambition start to like make crucial mistakes this late into the game. It's gonna be up to the Saints to pick their opportunities for themselves or to start carving them out themselves. Another dragon looking to go the way of Team Ambition right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a free drag. The Saints aren't gonna have nearly the time to get back over, and that was why I think Team Ambition put so much pressure on that mid and that bot side wave. Keep the wave shoved in as far as possible. Bakery Boy clearing out the top side, but when you clear that mid and that bot side, the Dragon Pit pretty much opens up for free. Now they have evened up the objectives. They make sure they keep St. Clair off of Soul Point, being one of those key win conditions. Now, once again, it's just back to that CS, trying to get the farm up right now. We're going to see Sivir finally completes those quick blades. Xayah, though, still completing item after item as well. 700 gold bounty on that head of Aaron. The Saints, if they can find some way to get all that gold in Rockboom's back pocket, there is always a chance that they might end up bringing it down to a Baron flip as well.
They're going to start up this Baron. Maddie
they have to
here, ready to clear out this vision. They have to fight this one. The Baron goes through, and Team Ambition takes the win. However, Maddie getting collapsed on by 5 players here is able to make it out. They cancel the Baron for now. Bakery Boy still kind of in that backside, in that blue side jungle. Not sure if Team Ambition necessarily knows about Bakery Boy's position, but somebody's got to stop this push of super minions, this onslaught coming into the base. Aaron going on an onslaught of his own, taking out Rockboom. That's what happens when you're an item up. Gonna keep going on Ricky LaFleur. Ricky LaFleur you're looking pretty tanky. You've got tabbies, you've got a ton of health under your belt, but that does not stop a 3-item Xayah.
Yeah, the Stride Breaker and the Black Cleaver not going to be the most tanky items, unfortunately. Bakery Boy, there is that stopwatch from You Should Know Me. He's going to try to jump back in on Bakery Boy, but that's not going to matter. The inhibitors and the Nexus towers are falling, and the St. Clair College will fall to Team Ambition. Team Ambition, start to finish, show much prowess. I guess the game technically isn't over yet, but it is all but over at this point. Aaron looking to find these last couple of kills. Maddie has to go running. Aaron is going godlike. Sarcasm finds the last kill. Bakery Boy trying to duel You Should Know Me. Not gonna go his way though. And just like that, Team Ambition will take this game of the Swiss stage of the NACL Open Qualifiers.
Saints now 2-2 in the qualifier total over these past 2 days, coming in to game 3, the final game of the day. This win needs to happen for these Saints if they want to qualify. Team Ambition coming through now, I guess it would be 3-1 in this qualifier here. A great game from them from start to finish. The second they found those first few kills, they were just capitalizing on these amazing plays and playing the map so well that even after a few early lost objectives, they're able to come back. They're able to stack up that gold lead. And by the end of the game, it was 2 out of the Saints' hand.
Yeah, you can tell how well coordinated the team is when level by level they keep finding these really quick dives. They're not like telegraphed. They're not really set up. They're getting send 2 mid, 3-man dive mid, even if the wave is only halfway alive. They find that kill. They get out of there. You do that 3 or 4 times in that early game. And that comp of St. Clair, Soraka Sivir, you have to get to late game. If you do not get to late game, that comp is going to be completely cooked. You couldn't really ever get Sivir online. And then in that last team fight, Rockboom unfortunately gets caught out trying to make a play. I mean, at that point, though, the Saints, you had to try to make a play. It was either go for the Baron flip or try to steal Elder away after you let the couple more dragons go through. But Team Ambition, you can tell how sound that team is. And the Saints, like you said, now sitting at 2-2, it's pretty much going to be win or die. If you lose this one, you're pretty much guaranteed to be out of here. If you win, you're going to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, one more game on the horizon. We're going to send it back to a break as we wait for the rest of this round to play out, for opponents to be locked in. We will come back to you with pregame and or draft of game 3.
Now, the last 2 weekends, and even some of the games earlier this semester, they are timed right on these objectives. However, Ricky, he smells this dive coming. It's going to be the Sejuani and the Jax. Once again, he's going to flash under the tower. Deja vu from last time. He's still going to be alive, though. Still taking those tower shots landing. Tries to land the dunk. It is going to be enough. So it's going to be a 1-for-1. A great
Addy to that. Going to move out of the way. Sarcasm. Rift in hand, too. Ricky gets jumped on. Will the stun be good? It will. Second stun to come through. That chain CC is hard to deal with.
Flash and burn the heal. Just going to get away from the feathers. Rockboom trying to trade. That is not a good trade against this side, though. He's getting tagged down very low. The Soraka are going to be enough to keep him alive. Biscotti, though, a couple autos away from falling. Rockboom playing dangerously here. Very low HP. He's going to find one and make it a double. That's going to be 2 for Rockboom. This year, he's going to take a lot of damage. Still going to try to get in that shroud. Now here comes Sarcasm on that backside. Bakery Boy going to try to go in on him. He's going to fail the flash into the wall. He is going to bounce over that wall, though. Blast Cone not going to be up, though. He's going to get tagged down, and it's going to be JD.
Dive. Sarcasm is way too tanky to not be diving anyone like that right now. Rockboom, you're a little too far up under that tower. You should know me, though. Ricky LaFleur and Biscotti in the top lane. This could be a tough one for Jax to make it out of. And the fact that that was even that close at second item here, but towards this mid lane, 4 members of the Saints, it's going to be stunned up. Is that first man in? Town stopwatch flash is going to be good. Bakery Boy, you're too deep in this team right now. The shroud saves their life. Biscotti getting absolutely shredded by Aaron right now in the backside. It's You Should Know Me on this Jax. Make it a double. Aaron is going to clean up Ricky LaFleur as well. Maddie running for deer
as well. Dragon going to be at about half HP. Ricky going to flash in. Double knock up. The silence is going to land. Jax trying to spin away. Bakery Boy trying to go all in. Down goes You Should Know Me. Ooh, there's the next to fall. Aaron's going to be good for that one. Ricky's going to be tagged low. These members of Team Ambition are not slowing down. Rockboom down to 1 HP. Down he goes to the Xayah. That's going to be Dragon over to now the last 2 weekends, and even some of the games earlier this semester, they are timed right on these objectives. However, Ricky, he smells this dive coming. It's going to be the Sejuani and the Jax. Once again, he's going to flash under the tower. Deja vu from last time. He's still going to be alive, though. Still taking those tower shots landing. Tries to land the dunk. It is going to be enough. So it's going to be a 1-for-1. A great
Addy to that. Going to move out of the way. Tribush, your sarcasm. Rift in hand, too. Ricky gets jumped on. Will the stun be good? It will. Second stun to come through. That chain CC is hard to deal with.
Flash and burn the heal. Just going to get away from the feathers. Rockboom trying to trade. That is not a good trade against this side, though. He's getting tagged down very low. Rocket R going to be enough to keep him alive. Biscotti, though, a few autos away from falling. Rockboom playing dangerously here. Very low HP. He's going to find one and make it a double. That's going to be 2 for Rockboom. This year, he's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, going to try to get in that shroud. Now here comes Sarcasm on that backside. Bakery Boy going to try to go in on him. He's going to fail the flash into the wall. He is going to bounce over that wall, though. Blast Cone not going to be up, though. He's going to get tagged down, and it's going to be JD.
Dive. Sarcasm is way too tanky to not be diving anyone like that right now. Rockboom, you're a little too far up under that tower. You should know me, though. Ricky LaFleur and Biscotti in the top lane. This could be a tough one for Jax to make it out of. And the fact that that was even that close, that second item here, but towards this mid lane, 4 members of the Saints. It's going to be stunned up. Is that first man in? Town stopwatch flash is going to be good. Bakery Boy, you're too deep in this team right now. The Shroud saves their life. Biscotti getting absolutely shredded by Aaron right now in the backside. It's You Should Know Me on this. Jax make it a double. Aaron is going to clean up Ricky LaFleur as well. Maggie running for deer as well. Dragon will be at about half HP. Ricky gonna flash in. Double knockup. The silence is gonna land. Jax trying to spin away. Bakery Boy trying to go all in. Down goes You Should Know Me. Here's the next to fall. Aaron's gonna be good for that one. Ricky's gonna be tagged low. These members of Team Ambition are not slowing down. Rockboom down to 1 HP. Down he goes to the Xayah. That's gonna be Dragon over to now the last 2 weekends. Even some of the games earlier this semester, they are timed right on these objectives. However, Ricky smells this dive coming. It's going to be the Sejuani and the Jax. Once again, he's going to flash under the tower. Deja vu from last time. He's still going to be alive, though. Still taking those tower shots landing. Tries to land the dunk. It is going to be enough. So it's going to be a 1-for-1. A great Patty. Privy to that. Going to move out of the way. Tribush, your sarcasm. Rift in hand, too. Ricky gets jumped on. Will the stun be good? It will. Second stun to come through.